All right, David DeGuzman and Sports Director Joe Nugent joining us inside the NBC4 Sports Digital Roundtable for week one of Ohio State football as we get underway against Akron in just a couple of days' time. We had our first press conference of the year, had Ryan Day and Will Howard at the podium. Joe, just your initial reactions to what we heard. Nothing truly groundbreaking, but enough to have us talking about football.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that this team is really excited to finally, have a game, right? They had their first game practice, of the season today, getting ready for the game against Akron. So I think they're really excited about that. Ryan Day talked about how, they're working hard on improving who they are. There's obviously a lot of noise around this team with, the $20 million roster that they have. But they want to, stay focused on themselves and being better. And I think it's sort of a change for them, right? To go from working against each other to now, getting ready for a team like Akron. So, you can tell there's some excitement, and they're looking forward to starting, this season, which, of course, could be a huge season.
Yeah, speaking of excitement, let's hear from Ryan Day really quickly here.
Yeah, that's kind of what we said. That yesterday was our first game week practice of getting back on the field and playing games again. It feels like forever since we played a game, and there's been a lot of hard work. Mostly by the players, but also by the coach, by the staff. A lot of people involved to build this team, and Coach Mick and his staff, and the coaches, and everybody involved. To put this roster together, to go attack the season. And I can't say enough about the leaders and the guys in this team who have continued to work hard to get to where we are right now, and now it's time to go put it on the field and play. But
so Ryan Day talking about the excitement from really everyone, the players especially, the people who put a lot of work into building this roster. Also, we got some questions answered about starting positions, if you want to fill us in on that.
Yeah, Tiger Shabola has indeed won that battle at right guard, I think, which is a great sign for the line because he beat out somebody who started last year on the offensive line, Carson Hinsman, who was the center as a freshman. So that's a great sign for Tegra in his third year here at Ohio State. He's a big dude, and he's really athletic. He's 325, he's 6'6", but he can move like most linemen that size can't move. So if he can really lock that spot down going forward, that's going to be a great sign for this offensive line, which we feel like will be better. On the defensive side, we know that Sonny Styles will be the linebacker at will. He beat out C.J. Hicks, but Jim Knowles also said that he kind of looks at the top three linebackers with Cody Simon in that mix as all ones, all starters. He they're all playing every single game. C.J. could be playing a ton, and he could also be on the field with Sonny at the same time as well. If they give Cody a break. So there's that's not a surprise, right? I mean, Sonny started last year, and he has that advantage of seeing the defense from the back and now stepping up a spot into the linebacker role. It certainly gave him an advantage in this battle, so not a huge surprise. It felt like Sonny was, going to win this battle through most of fall camp, so that is what happened. So good stuff there. And we did learn that Jeremiah Smith will be starting as a freshman, which is so rare. I mean, a receiver, that is very rare at Ohio State, so it's going to be fun to watch him as well.
Yeah, Day said that he plans to roll out all the receivers, but to get the starting nod, that's definitely going to be interesting. One guy who we knew was going to be starting for a while now, Will Howard, he earned that job about midway through fall camp. Honestly, anything he says out of his mouth, I'm just like, this is like great as a writer because you can just write to anything he's talking about. I love what he said about, not being in Kansas anymore and how, he knew from his first spring game that this was going to be different. He talked about how this season's going to be really special. Anything stick out from what Will Howard said today to you, Joe?
Yeah, I feel like what's really neat and special about Will is the maturity that he brings to this situation. I think what he's being asked to do, if we step back, he's being asked to come in, lead the team to a national championship and do it all inside of 1 year and build all those chemistry related things, build the ability to look at his teammates in the eye when they need a yard in a crucial tight game in the fourth quarter and be like, all right, let's go do it. And have everybody follow him. in addition to learning a new offense. Now, granted, there's a lot of different parts of this offense that are new for everybody. It's not entirely new for everybody, but to him, it is a full, restart in that way. And he's also asked to do a lot as a quarterback in this offense. There's a ton of option related to it, especially in the run game. So I just think that there's so much on his plate. But from what we can tell at this point, he really is doing a very good job. And we're going to watch him grow. He's definitely going to grow because he has to accomplish so much this year, right? He's not going to be at his best in the first game, but you'll be able to see that progress throughout the season. And, listen, it's more than learning the playbook, and it's more than throwing passes, right, and completing passes. There's a lot more to it to be a quarterback. He's in a tough spot, but I think he's handling it great, and that's what stands out to me.
Yeah, one other thing before we go, I thought that Whitney asked a really good question about not overlooking the first opponent. Now, granted, Ohio State has not lost to an in-state opponent in over 100 years. There's no expectation that Akron's going to pull off an upset. That being said, I like what Will Howard did say about always, not overlooking an opponent. Akron is the next opponent, and they're not going to overlook that. And I also think expectations-wise, we know that this team has the highest expectations for this entire season, but I did like how both Will and Coach Day said they're not looking for anything extraordinary out of this first game. They're looking to play clean and be able to run their operation very well, and also to be able to figure out where is this team right now, because obviously once they get through these cupcake teams, it's not going to be any easier because they've got the Big Ten, including Oregon, coming up. So I think it's good for this team to, have high expectations, but also to, try to figure it out for this first week and not have, we're not looking for like anything extraordinary out of this team week one, but, I think Coach Day set the tone.
Yeah. So I don't know how many conclusions we will be able to draw based on the game against Akron. I think if there are conclusions to be drawn, they're going to be bad conclusions, right? If this game is far closer than anyone expects, then they're like, whoa, okay, got some issues, need to work on this before Western Michigan. But if they win by 50 points, they should win by 50 points. So I don't think that any fan, should say, okay, we're good. This is going to be an undefeated season or anything like that. Akron is picked second to last in the MAC. They're not a strong MAC team. Western Michigan the following week will be a better MAC team and a better test against Ohio State. But yeah, truly, I think the first game in the first week is all about the Buckeyes, operating with all these new players, right, and getting through it, as you talked about, getting through it smoothly and efficiently as well. Me personally, I'm curious to see how many times the quarterback is touched on a pass. How good is the offensive line against Akron? Is Will Howard going to have a hand on him one time in this game on a passing play? I think that'll be interesting. I also think it's going to be interesting to see how many offensive plays are there in this game, because they're going to be in the huddle, which is different than last year, which means things are going to take longer to happen. So I think those things are actually potentially going to be more interesting than the actual score.
And that first drive too. I mean, remember, this is going to be the first drive at Ohio Stadium in front of a crowd against an actual opponent for Will, for Quinshawn, for Jeremiah Smith, just to settle the nerves a bit. I think that first drive is going to be crucial. Yeah, they had experience during the spring game. This is not the spring game, so it's going to be interesting to see how they handle just being in that kind of atmosphere for the first time. It's something that they're looking forward to, and iron out the wrinkles, just like us. We're ironing out wrinkles, during this first roundtable of the season. So got a ways to go. We have high expectations of ourselves too, and so does Ohio State. So, all right, we're going to look forward to seeing what happens on Saturday. That is Sports Director Joe Nugent. We're going to keep talking about the game in the days to come. But, keep checking us out here on NBC4i.com. Until then, we'll see you next time.